Zach Roberts. I'm the Emergency Preparedness Coordinator here at Elkhart General Hospital and Community Hospital Bremen. You'll see me down in the ED from time to time going through the Decon closets and that sort of thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a quick overview of emergency preparedness at Elkhart General and how it pertains to the emergency department. All right. If you have any questions, just let me know. Okay. Okay. So today I'll talk to you about what I'm going to talk about today. All right. So emergency preparedness procedures are one of them. HURT team, Hazmat, and the mobile illumination kits. Okay. Emergency preparedness procedures are plain language codes used to notify patients, staff, LIPs, visitors of emergencies that may arise hospital-wide. So that's your code red, your code blue, winter weather plan, hazmat, decon, all these codes, missing person. To activate an emergency procedure, you dial 77 and notify the switchboard what's going on. All codes are plain language with the exception of code blue and code red. All right.
What is code red? Is that the fire?
Yes, code red is fire. So code red. What you do in the event of a code red? No, you're fine. All right, so fire safety prevention code. Follow RACE. Does anyone know what RACE is without looking at my presentation here?
Rescue alarm, confine, evacuate.
Great. Okay, so you follow your RACE procedures. Remember PASS? Does anyone know what PASS is without looking at the PowerPoint?
Pull pin, aim, squeeze, sweep.
Yes, awesome. Report a fire by dialing code 77. Ensure means of egress are cleared. So if you have a fire in the ED and you are away from the fire's point of origin, make sure you're pushing just carts and that sort of thing out of the hallways. Code red is one of 2 remaining color-coded procedures. Any questions? All right, great. On code blue. Okay, code blue is a cardiac or respiratory arrest. You call 77 to report to the switchboard. You begin CPR and ACLS. Keep means of egress clear because you don't want to get in the evac team's way. And this is the second of 2 remaining color-coded procedures. Any questions on code blue? All right. Okay, active shooter and armed intruder. Okay, so Elkhart General Hospital, along with every other Beacon facility, provides active shooter training. All you need to do is sign up for it. It isn't held during the summertime at EGH, but it is held from fall all the way to spring. We should be starting up again in September, I believe. So, how active shooter works is it's options-based training, so it's all dependent on where you are in the building or where you are in vicinity of the shooter. So. I do encourage you guys to sign up for that training. It's excellent training. We teach about 2 classes, or 1 class a week, starting in the fall. So you alert, you call 77 or call 911 if it's safe to do so. You lock down, meaning you barricade yourself inside the room. So in this case, in this room, if there was an active shooter in the ED, how might we barricade this room?
The door, the desk, the couch,
okay.
Chairs, tables.
All right, great, excellent. You guys understand lockdown then. Inform, you update others as the situation occurs using any kind of communication available. Cell phones, regular phones, overhead paging system, whatever you can to let everyone know that there's an active shooter going on. Counter, interrupt the skills needed to shoot well if in direct contact with the shooter, meaning that if I started shooting, you guys would throw things at me, try to get the gun from me, throw me on the ground, whatever you got to do to prevent yourselves from being shot. Swarm, if there are no other options when confronted by the shooter, multiple people will converge on the shooter to use gravity to bring him down to the ground and secure the weapon. So if I started shooting now and you guys did decide to swarm me and get the weapon from me, and don't touch it once it hits the ground, just leave it there, just make sure the shooter doesn't get it again. You take them down when you don't have any other options. And the reason you do that is because if you run away, you're certainly going to get shot. If you try to stop the shooter from shooting you, have roughly a 50% chance of preventing the shooter from shooting you.
Evacuate if you can. That's the absolute best option. So if you can evacuate by all means.
Any questions? All right. Hospital evacuation. Basically, this will come on as an overhead page. You'll report to your supervisor. You'll activate the department-specific procedures and send EGH sit rep up to incident command. The sit rep is a form you fill out that you'll send up to the incident command so they know what the situation is on your unit. It's how they'll assess how they'll evacuate, what will be prioritized. Any questions? All right. Okay. Hazardous materials decon. How many? You're all new, right?
No.
New what? What do you mean?
Like new to EGH.
To EGH.
Yeah.
To EGH. Okay. All right. So Elkhart General Hospital. All right, guys. Hazmat here is a thing. I've worked here for 6 months and I've had 24 patients deconned already. It happens at least once or twice a month. The important thing to remember about hazmat decon is if someone comes into the triage desk and they have a chemical on them, absolutely do not let them in the ER before they're deconned outside. There are some exceptions to that, but generally you don't want to let them in. If it could be diesel, it could be gasoline, it could be polyethylene spray, it could be methamphetamine, it could be zinc, toluene, hexane, diesel, you name it. I've seen quite a bit since I've been here. Pepper spray. So unless it's something where the patient is getting harmed by the chemical, or it's too cold, or conditions are too extreme outside the decon outside, don't let them in the ER. Give it about 10 minutes to set the shower up, activate the HERT team. We'll get them all squared away with the proper PPE and everything. All right. So what you do with a hazmat decon is you dial 77. The HERT team will activate. That's the hospital emergency response team. Contaminated patients cannot enter the ED until decontaminated outside the ER. Redirect any contaminated patients to the ED ambulance bay. HERT will respond and conduct the decon operations. So, don't let them in here because, man, they come in with all kinds of crazy stuff.
And this is 24/7.
24/7. This happens all the time.
Perfect.
Yep. Hazmat decon continued. Hazmat decontaminations are commonplace at EGH. I can't stress that enough. It happens all the time. As an ER staff member, it is your responsibility to prevent contaminated patients from entering the ED before being decontaminated. So keep your eyes out, keep yourself safe. I mean, a lot of times, things like diesel really aren't that big of a deal, but you still don't want it to get in the hospital. Pepper spray is another good one. It might not affect a healthy person as badly as it would affect someone who's having respiratory issues in the ED. And the stuff can spread around, and before you know it, you have people complaining of burning skin and so on and so forth. So you really just don't want to take a risk of getting it in here. If a patient smells like chemicals, says they've been splashed by chemicals, redirect them to the ambulance bay for decontamination. It is everyone's job to keep the ER safe. If you see something hazmat, say something. Any questions?
So it's protocol no matter what, dial 77 and get the HERT.
Mm-hmm.
HERT, is that
Yeah.
right?
Unless there's enough HERT trained staff within the ED, I've seen it happen a couple times. The textbook answer is to call the switchboard and tell them that you have a hazmat decon. But then again, if you have like a onesie or twosie coming in, generally there's enough HERT trained staff around to actually do the decon without having to activate the wider HERT team.
Okay.
The wider HERT team is a beacon asset, so it stretches across all of our hospitals, and it's 92 members strong. What that's designed for is, let's say there was like a chemical weapons attack at Notre Dame, all right? And all of a sudden you have this mass casualty with hundreds of people coming into the ED to be deconned and treated. You'd need to activate the wider HERT team to do that, and that's why it's there. But generally the ones we've had here have been between 3 and 1, and it's been conducted by about 5 or 6 HERT members. So, hazmat radiation incident. It's pretty similar to a HERT incident, except you're monitoring for radiation sources. What you do is you call 77 and the team will respond to the location. Any questions? All right. Missing infant, child, and adult. You call 77. You provide a description of the missing person. You search the immediate area for children or items that could contain children. You monitor hospital exits, and you report suspicious or uncooperative people to security. Make sense?
At the facility I came from, they would, if there was like if somebody had like a duffel bag or something, you'd say, you know, sorry, I need to look through that duffel bag. And actually, they'd be real drills, so there'd be like doll babies, like in the duffel bag.
We've done that before too.
They did that, okay,
Yeah.
that's what
Nice.
they do here, okay.
Nice. Yeah, you were absolutely okay to ask people to,
Open their bags
Yep.
and, yeah,
Yep.
okay,
but don't put yourself at risk.
sure, yeah.
So you could always call security and they can do it for you. We have that's one thing too. If you're new to Elkhart General, Elkhart General has an excellent security team. I mean,
They seem great.
they are excellent. So
A few of them are police. Correct.
actually, I would say
think they
roughly
Most of them
95% of them
are.
are retired police or military. So they're all really good at what they do. All right. Let's see. Mass casualty incident. Report to your supervisor. Activate department-specific protocols, and send an EGH sitrep to incident command. So, anyway, MCI is like whatever that's however many patients is more than you can handle at any given time. MCIs, you're probably doing triage. You need more people to come and help out, and I will get into that a little more. Okay, so MCI continued. This bag contains medical supplies that are needed to treat self-arrival patients in the event of an MCI. The AED is also located inside this bag. The bag is located in the main ER RN station. So it's, do you guys know where the radio is? The 800 megahertz radio?
Mhm.
It's right across from it in a shelf. I can show you guys a little later on once we finish the presentation. So it's a gray bag. It's got this yellow sign that says IED inside. It's called the Code EMS bag. And here is its contents. Rapid response team activation. Call 77. Team will respond to the location of the incident. A rapid response is if a patient's not doing too hot, and you'll have a team come to assess them. So, any questions on that?
We don't call rapid response in the emergency room.
Oh, you don't? Okay, great.
Well,
Well,
we are the rapid.
We are,
Alright.
I know.
We are.
All of our-
so you'll
all
be the
of our
people
patients
responding
are-
to the rapid response.
No,
in the
actually,
radio.
we won't
even
Well,
do
that's-
that.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah,
no,
we
no,
don't
a
even
lot of our
respond to that.
patients coming in need a rapid.
Yeah.
Like, we are the.
No, that's more for floors, and they pull people from different floors
they
and
have
come
their
to a unit to.
Alright, sounds good.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, security alert, bomb threat. Remain calm. Do not hang up the phone. Keep the caller on the phone. If you evacuate, leave the phone on the desk. Call 77. Report any suspicious objects and packages. Avoid cell phone use. Do not announce bomb threat overhead, and a team will respond. So, bomb threats are kind of out of vogue. So, and chances are you'd probably be handling it through the switchboard.
Why would you want to avoid cell phone use?
Because there's some bombs that can be set off by the radio waves
Okay.
produced by cell phones. And some bomb techs will say they carry their cell phones, some say they don't. It just depends. But that's the doctrine here. You don't want to use your cell phone around it. Security and trained personnel assistance needed. All right, so this is if someone's acting rowdy in the ER. You can call 77, or you can call security. Or if you look at a lot of our computers, like you can see on my computer here, these orange buttons. If you press F11 and F12 at the same time on computers that are equipped with the Lynx panic buttons, it'll send a silent alarm right across security radios, and they've been used before, and they're pretty effective. So.
Oh, you lost your signal.
Okay, cool.
There you go.
There it is.
All right, we're back up and running. All right, any questions about the Lynx buttons? All right.
Oh, it's not on slideshow mode anymore.
Jeez. On slideshow mode over here. All right.
And it's green. I don't know if it's green on your
Oh.
computer.
Well, it's definitely very orange on my computer.
I think it's that cord
Oh,
that's connected.
oh, it's probably
Oh.
broken.
It's still
Cord.
not.
There, and that sounds connected.
I was gonna make it through the whole show without any IT issues. Let's see.
There she go.
Yeah.
Well, we'll just have a.
Okay, so guys, you'll just have to get used to this being green. It's kind of like the Matrix, you know, everything's in a green sort of tint.
It's been green for
Oh.
most of the presentation.
Oh, we lost
Change
it
it back.
again for moving it. Where's
Once
that?
you get it in slide, you should be able to use the arrows on your computer
Yeah.
to just.
There you go.
There we go. Okay, guys, we're gonna run through this real quick then.
There you go.
There you go.
Oh, and this is being videotaped, so this is so embarrassing.
No, it's not your fault.
Right there.
Oh, with the weather one.
Hi guys. Oh, I'm sorry.
Hey, what's up?
Sorry.
Okay, Hurt. So this is getting back into hazmat. So Hurt, what is it? So this is Hurt. So this is what the Hurt team does. All right, so HURT is an acronym for Hospital Emergency Response Team. The HURT team is a team that responds to hazmat incidents involving decontamination of patients. The HURT team protects the house by ensuring that contaminated patients do not enter the ER, exposing staff and patients to hazmat. The HURT can perform secondary and technical decontamination on ambulatory patients, non-ambulatory patients, and service animals here. We're actually one of the only hospitals in the nation that can decon service animals, as well as hazmat MCI triage and survey and monitoring. They're trained to don a level C hazmat suit with a PAPR, and there's a job for everyone on the HURT team. Not all HURT members need to wear a hazmat suit. So, sounds pretty exciting, right? Yeah? Okay, whatever. All right, so joining the HURT team. So, Beacon Medical System hosts several HURT classes a year. They're available on Net Learning, so you have to sign up for them on Net Learning to get onto them. You must take an 8-hour local FEMA HURT course and pass the exam, and that's the actual class. It's just an 8-hour class that we hold probably about 6 or 7 a year. All hospital specialties are needed, so it doesn't matter, nurse, EMS, EVS, plan ops, whatever. We need anybody we can get on the HURT team. Our next HURT class is actually on the 17th at Memorial Hospital South Bend. If you guys would like to try to get onto that, just let me know, or let Brooke know. Brooke's also, she's a HURT qualification.
How long do those last?
They're good for good. Once you have it, you have the qualification.
That took mine 2 years ago, but I haven't done anything. I haven't.
So they're different than the hazmat, like maybe the firemen, they got hazmat ops.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it?
It's I would say it's about ops level.
Okay.
Just about. It's not enough. It's not tech level where you're
Right.
rolling through with level A's or anything like that. You only ever be in a level C with a PAPR.
Yeah, so
So.
that ops were level B with CPAs on.
Right.
So.
All right. Okay. So, would you like to know more? Contact Chris Heck. Beacon. He's my boss. He's in charge of Beacon's emergency preparedness. Me. I'm the coordinator here at Elkhart General and Community Hospital Bremen, or Christy Melser, who works here in EGH, and she's our hazmat decontamination lead, so a lot of times she's the one responding to these events. Any questions about the HURT team? Does anybody want to join?
I might.
All right, cool. Yeah, we got the class tomorrow if you can get it. Or not
I'm gonna be in
tomorrow, but
Chicago.
Wednesday.
Oh.
All right.
Well, I'm working here.
Yeah, it's all about
I'm
secondary
working with
decon, not so much with gross decon and coming in and identifying the chemical. It's just about getting
Right.
the patients deconned. Okay, so mobile illumination kits, mixed or sealed boxes that contain lanterns, headlamps, batteries in order to provide lighting during power interruptions. Mix are currently located in the fishbowl in the main ER RN station. That's recording too, isn't it?
I don't think I'd use that
See
video.
what you earn.
It's just the PowerPoint. It's not you. So
Oh, okay,
you're
okay,
good.
okay. All right. So typical. Here's our MIC kit, and these are good for when we lose power. This does happen from time to time, so it's a good idea to know where these are. This is a typical MIC layout. It's got a bunch of batteries, a bunch of lanterns, a bunch of headlamps. I know the ones in ED are really headlamp heavy because there's a lot of rooms. So anyway, that's a MIC. Conclusion. It is everyone's responsibility to be aware of emergency preparedness. As an ED staff member, emergency is your department title. You'll be on the front lines of any emergency response hospital-wide. Others will look to you as examples of how to manage an emergency. Do your part to keep the hospital as disaster resilient as possible by keeping updated on emergency procedures. And welcome to Elkhart General Hospital's Emergency Department.
Thanks.
All right. Well, any questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
Do you guys do like LCI drills?
We do MCI drills.
How
Our
often
next
do you
one
do
is we do them once a year.
Okay.
They're one of the required drills by the Joint Commission to be done at least annually. Our next one is either going to be in late August or early September.
Okay.
So that one's still in the planning phases, but it's looking more like that one's going to be around the 4th of September.